Americans spent an estimated $120 billion on sports betting alone last year, and it's estimated that 23.1 billion were bet on the Super Bowl alone. Now, sports betting, it's a big thing now. A lot of people are doing it. I'm sure everybody knows someone that has the Hard Rock Bet app on their phone right now, and inherently, nothing wrong with it. It's a fun thing to do. You can get together with your friends, put $5 on a game, and it makes the game a lot more enjoyable, and somebody comes out with a lot more money in their pocket, possibly, by the end of the game. It's not the sports betting itself that I find is an issue. It's what the sports betting can lead to. One of the biggest problems with it is how it leads to gambling addictions. It's so easy on some of the apps to throw $20 on and then hit a button. If you lose, and throw another 20. You start to lose what the 20 means. It's almost like in a casino how they give you chips. They give you chips so you can spend more money because you don't see the $5 going away every time you throw a chip. It's different if you're using $5 cash and you see your wallet shrinking as you're putting the $5 out. It's chips, doesn't matter. It's similar on these apps, It's just a number at the top right of your screen, and you can hit plus, and boom, put however much more you want. And that can be dangerous. It leads to being able to spiral. You got a $5 bet here, I lost. Well, there's another really good parlay that some might say is free money. Why not throw another $5 on? And that's the mindset that can lead to gambling addictions, and that's the mindset that these sports betting, especially these sports apps like the Hard Rock app, kind of feed into. And inherently with that comes overspending. Like I said, $5, lose the bet, what's $5 more? It's $5, who cares? And there's a stat from the UCF website. It says, among college students, a 2023 survey said that 60% of students gambled illegally, and 1 in 5 students use their financial aid to support their habit. This is the issue that I'm talking about. These are not bets done just for fun with a bunch of buddies. These are bets that could be classified as addictions. If you got to dip into your financial aid just to bet, the parlay is so there. It's, the ESPN TV show is telling me it's such a good bet, I got to, then we might have an issue there. But how do we solve these issues? Biggest way to solve it, you got to be aware of it. That's the first step to solving any issue. You got to be aware that these apps are set up in a way, and the sports betting wave, you can call it, is set up in a way for you to bet now, think later, just bet. And if you take a step back, say, hey, maybe I'm not going to do this bet, maybe I'm not going to do this parlay on the Warriors tonight, you're already taking a step in the right direction. And another biggest thing is you got to budget. Budgeting is really important to stop from overspending on these bets. And it can really help, especially, college students, like that UCF stat said. Budgeting, you won't have to tap into your financial aid, hopefully, if you budgeted correctly. And, big picture wise, you could argue, like, how do we solve this? What do we do? It's such a big thing now. You got the Hard Rock app commercials with Post Malone telling me to bet a Post Malone size bet, or the whole ESPN 30-minute segments dedicated on what to bet this week. What can we do about it? Well, big picture stuff, maybe reduce the amount of exposure it gets, how much TV time. But I'd say the biggest thing is to just spread awareness. Be aware of what you're doing, what you're spending. And like I said, budget. And that's what I think that we can do. That's the biggest thing that people, like the viewer, you can do, is budget and be mindful. Don't try to chase bets. Don't be like, hey, don't watch the ESPN app, like I said, or the ESPN shows and be like, oh, they're telling me to bet this. I got to bet it. Maybe don't bet once. Maybe put that $5 back in your pocket. If you're spending, reframe a little bit. If you're spending $20 a month on sports betting, that could probably get you a lot of pretty decent streaming services. You could watch the movies. There's just other things to do with that cash. And, the biggest takeaway is like what the Hard Rock app commercials say at the very end, very quietly, very fast. Gamble responsibly.